Hello. I hope you all are having a super duper fantastic evening. Come on, y'all. It's Dineen, 12 Days of Christmas. Yes, y'all know I love a song. I keep telling y'all I'm gonna be on somebody's record. I haven't actually declared that, but if it happened, I would probably be okay with it. So that's all I'm saying. So if y'all cutting some jams, y'all need some backup singers, maybe a little lead here and there, a little ad lib. I'm for all of that. But look, tonight is the ninth day of Christmas, and I'm here with my sissy, Lashawn Mikell. Yes, and we will be talking about the 5 trends in estate planning. The 5 trends in estate planning. But before we get into that conversation, let me go ahead and introduce myself. Okay, Linda, you are inside the house. We was wondering like who was going to be the scribe tonight because LaShawn is up here on the screen. We ain't got nobody to take the notes. So look, Linda, if you don't mind, I know you always in the chat anyway, but if you don't mind, can you please help us tonight? Look, we were so appreciated, but we are so happy that you are here. First, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Dineen Merriweather. I am the CEO and founder of Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program. It's the #1 training environment for women in the world who are ready to start their business, get their foundation, and build their business from the ground up. Now, if you need to do that, then Queenpreneurs Jumpstart Program is where you need to be. So look, now I want to get into this conversation with my sissy. She said, I will. Thank you so much, Miss Linda.
Thank you.
We're so appreciative of that. And look, you guys, we got the giveaways going on. We got all those things happening. But I want to tell you right now, get your pen and paper out. I want to make sure that you're prepared. Look, I know we don't like to talk about it, but planning your estate and planning for what life would look like for your family after death is something that you really need to start doing, thinking about, and it's important. See, Lashawn and I, maybe she'll share this with you, on how she got to this point of even actually doing estate planning. And I'll ask her later. I won't get into it. I won't steal her thunder. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself to you, tell you what it is that she does. And then we're going to get into the conversation about how she started and why she started this business, and then we're going to get into the trends. So LaShawn, go ahead, introduce yourself to the people out here in the community.
Well, first off, thank you, Dineen. Thank you, Sissy, for having me at the 12 Days of Christmas for year 3. So 3 times in a row. So thank you so much for the opportunity to talk about my business. And good evening, everyone. I'm Lashawn Mikell, Esquire. I'm the founder and CEO of Cycles of Life Estate Planning Company, where we're moving people from financial insecurity to financial freedom while building a financial legacy that will last a lifetime. And you say, Lashawn, how do we do that? Well, we're going to ace that thing. And what that means is we're going to assess, we're going to consult, and then we're going to execute all your estate planning and financial needs. And what I do is not only educate you financially in regards to estate planning and what's best, but I also do legal document drafting. So if you need a will, you need a power of attorney, you need an advance directive or trust, I am here to assist you. So that is the crust of my business. I want to move people, particularly African Americans, educated women and men, but I'm geared towards women in regards to taking control of your financial life and making sure that you plan a legacy where we can perpetuate generational wealth for ourselves and our families.
All right, now I'm excited. I'm so excited about this. So I want you guys to get ready, get this information about how you can prepare yourself to plan for your estate because it is super duper important. All right, so LaShawn, let's just go ahead with the points and we'll wrap up tonight with your why. So let's talk about the 5 trends in estate planning. What would be the first thing that we need to know about the 5 trends in estate planning?
Well, the first thing that you need to know, the first trend that is very popular due to the pandemic is digital notarization. So the first trend is digital notarization. And what that means is that when you are preparing a legal document, particularly a will, a power of attorney, or any legal document, you know that you have to have that document notarized. And so what traditionally happens is that the notary, who I am also a notary, has to come in and he or she needs to check your identification and also witness you signing the document. So for instance, for a will, you would have the person who prepared the will, the attorney, or another person who could prepare well, financial planning, etc. And you would have the person who will it is, but you will also have witnesses. Those witnesses have to be selected. They should not be beneficiaries, by the way.
Put that in
But
the chat. Put that in the chat. So the pertinent person who signs off on the notary, right? A witness to the notarizing of the document cannot or should not that they cannot, they just
they
should not.
should not,
It
right?
should not, like,
Should not be
should
the
not
witness.
be a beneficiary of the document. They should
Correct.
not sign as a
Right.
witness. All right.
Correct.
Not a good idea to do
Not
that.
a good idea because it could create legal complications later. And so that witness, whoever he or she is, has to make sure that they are present and before the notary puts their seal on the document. So they have to verify who he or she is. They have to sign in front of the notary, and then the notary will put their seal and their qualifications to the bottom, how long their notary is explained and extended, etc., and then sign also off on it. But digital notarization, due to the pandemic and that we could not be in front of each other or in contact with each other, each state now has, for the most part, digital notarization where you could do things online, you can upload your identification, they can verify your signature, they could do a Zoom or some other form of way to identify the person in person or via the digital world, and then they can notarize the document and sign off, and that document will be valid. In the past, if the person was not present, if the notary did not observe the person being in their presence or and check their IDs, usually that would be a question in regards to validity of the witnessing of a document. So now each state has their own digital notarization because for the legal community, we have to keep things going, even though in the pandemic taught us that we could do things now digitally in the cyber world to keep things moving. So the first trend is digital notarization. You should check with your respective state to see what that is, and a qualified notary should be trained on that and also be prepared to be able to explain that and execute that if needed. As I stated, Georgia, the state of Georgia, where I reside and where I am a notary, there was training available, and it was something that our governor and our state bar signed off on to allow.
And I
So
want to say the same thing was available to Sherilyn. She's in our community. I think she also took some training to become a digital notary as well to make sure that she had that certification. But definitely something that you should be looking into. Make sure that you know what documents need to be notarized before you need it, right? Like, don't get to a place where you're trying to do a signature and hand something in, and you like, oh my God, notary, get it notarized. Because I used to be able to run to the bank because you could normally used to be able to do it in the bank, or sometimes there used to be people in the office that I worked in that was a notary. But now people are a little more skeptical. They kind of like, now I don't know if I want my stamp to be on anything you're doing because I don't know you well enough. If you're talking about people that you work in the office with. So it's better if you know also some other places that you could place a business you could go to get your documents notarized. Okay, what about number two?
Number two, digital assets. Now, of course, we are now in a digital world. And what that means is that you now have to protect those assets because they are now a lot of people's intellectual property.
Oh, you mean like all my videos that I'm putting out here in
There you
help me, Lord. Here we go. All of these course creators, content creators. Here, this is our number two. We on this, the digital assets. Okay, I got my pen. I'm ready. Tell me what I need to be doing.
So for your digital assets, this in part and this trend is protecting people's social media. So if you have a Facebook account that's tied to a business or even your personal accounts, your emails, your digital accounts, they all should be outlined in a legal document as far as your estate planning, a will. They should be inventoried. Then you should also select an executor, a digital executor, to make sure he or she is able to maintain those media outlets and accounts if you wish after your death, or to have the passwords and other access so they can then distribute it the way that you wish and or close those accounts. So what we hear so often is, particularly for Facebook, People pass away and no one in their family has a password.
That happened to us.
So that is still happening to Dineen and I right now with our mom's Facebook account. My mom was so jazzy, she made 2 Facebook accounts. So Dineen and I get birthday wishes, and then if her classmates tag her and tag us, we see them. So of course, for me and Dineen, we've discussed it and how it emotionally makes us feel. But because neither one of us know the password, we cannot close the account out. And Facebook will not give us permission to close the account out. So we have had several family members that's passed away and they still have accounts. So we get the birthday notifications, including our mother. And so that's why it's so important. But for a person like myself and Dineen, we both have pretty much primarily online businesses in the sense of our digital content is now in the cyber world. And how do you protect that? Particularly your intellectual property. For Dineen, who has done Queenpreneurs Academy and other things online, it is so important that she then outlines in her estate planning who will maintain those outlets in the event of her death. Also, if she wants those things to be dissolved. And if you don't have passwords or what accounts you have and it's not properly inventory, that's the first step you have to do to make sure that that could be an appendage or what we call a codicil or amendment or an addendum to a will that will outline that out, and then pick someone like you would put normally for a will, an executor or executrix, that's just male or female talk, to decide how you want those things divvied out. And so particularly if you have an online business that's making currency,
Making money.
making money, you definitely want to make sure that your digital assets are protected. And more, because of so many things, including cryptocurrency, which we'll talk about later, that's why your digital accounts, whether it's financial, social media wise, or emails, personal or professional, need to be taken care of if you have a business professionally in regards to being digitally maintained by an executor. So
Okay. I think that's great information for all you guys out here doing these videos. Tiffany, I've been seeing you out here with your 100 challenge squats for the day and information first thing in the morning while you walk in. Look, if y'all think y'all gonna want sell that later, or you already packaging it up to be selling it, hey, without it being protected, is any person's game. Like they could grab it and go run with it. I'm just saying, just make sure that you start being responsible for the things that you care about, right? Not just your family, but also your intellectual property. Okay, number three. What we got with number 3?
Number 3 is multiple wills.
Okay.
So
Why would we
multiple
need
wills.
multiple wills? Come on. It's
Well,
hard
this
enough to
is
get one together. Help me, Lord.
well, this is a trend. And so we're seeing now that estate planning attorneys are doing multiple wills. And I tell you why. Because you'll be surprised what families fight over. So there are the
Not
obvious
really.
things we
Not
should
really.
know. You want to have multiple wills, and the trend is to have multiple wills because in the probate world, you have things that are non-probate assets and things that are probate assets.
Well,
So
what's the difference between those two?
I'm going to explain.
All
So
right.
a probate asset is something that will definitely in your will have to be probated. So for example, real estate, property, that is a probated asset. There is no way around the distribution of real property from one hand to another at the time of someone's death without it being probated. Whether you have a will or not, but particularly if you have a will, that will then go to the probate court after your death, because that is also a misconception that wills are kind of sitting there while you are alive. No, you have a will, whoever you picked as your executor or executrix will then take that will to your county probate court, and then your probate court will start the distribution. So a probated asset is an asset that has to go through probate court to be distributed to the beneficiary or named heir. And also it is something that can be attacked or attached by a creditor. So that is a probated asset.
Wait a minute, hold on. attached. Did you say attached or attacked? Like attacked, like attack. ATTACK. Attacked,
Yes,
attached or attacked to a creditor. Meaning that
correct.
if you owe something when you die and you got real estate, the person that's owed the money can go after your real estate.
Correct. So, what will happen at the time of distribution with a probated asset is it will have to be checked to make sure it is free and clear. And what that means is there's no liens on the property or asset, and that there's no creditor that is owed that can then get that money that is owed from that asset. So you hear all the time that someone is in debt or have been sued or something occurs, and at the time of their death, the creditor appears to try to attach on to their assets. You hear that with a lot of celebrities. Oh, they were sued years ago for $10 million. And then when the person died, the creditor the probate court distributed everything out, but the creditor can attach and or attack that money first before it is distributed to your heirs named in a beneficiary in a will or an heir if you do not have a will. So
Okay.
yes, so that's a probated asset.
Okay. What's
A
the non-probated?
non-probated asset is something that cannot be attacked or attached by a creditor and will not go through probate court. So for example, clothes. If you have a fur coat that you want to leave your child, that is considered a non-probated asset. So
Okay.
that is not something that will be attached or attacked by a creditor or have tax
What
consequences
about jewelry?
depending on the value of the jewelry. So that
See,
depends.
wait a
If
minute.
it
This that foolishness right here. You see, this that lawyer foolishness. That mess. This that mess. Like nobody want them clothes because they depreciate. So you could
correct,
keep those, but them rings, them diamonds, put it in the chat. Them diamonds, put it in the
right.
chat. Them diamonds, we can attack and attach to them diamonds.
So
Go
a
ahead.
appraised asset. So you have a value jewel. You have a value jewel. Just use an example. We don't want to tell your business out here in the street, but if you have, say, your wedding ring that has been appraised, John probably insured it for a
Yes.
time. It may be still
Oh no, it's
assured.
still insured. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is something that is not considered something that will not go through probate because if it's appraised at a certain value, again, your two things can occur: taxes and or there could be an attachment from a creditor. So when you go
How
to
to your ring? Why? Because you put insurance on it?
well, because it is an appraised, it has a designated value to it. It also remember when you go through probate court, they ask you to list all of your assets, fine jewelry, a piece of art that you paid millions of dollars for.
See,
That is something that is listed as an asset. A non-probated asset, another example is life insurance.
which
Depending
one
on
is
the
that one? Which one is that one?
that is a non-probated asset.
Okay.
So a life insurance policy, if you have a named beneficiary, he or she will be distributing that money once there's proof of your death by a death certificate, etc. You go through the process. And once that is clear and done, they will just send you a check. It's not cannot be attacked by a creditor and it cannot be taxed.
Now, sidebar, y'all. Wait a minute. Hold on, because I'm about to get in my sister Kool-Aid, okay? Now, when she talking to me on the phone, I want y'all to know she's not giving me this type of information. These are not the things we talking about. She should be checking up on me and seeing what I got in place while I'm out here on these digital platforms talking about my intellectual property. I got these kids over here. I got a honeydew over here. You think she talking to me about this stuff? Do y'all see I'm just as surprised as some of this stuff as y'all? And this is my sister. Do y'all understand? Are y'all in y'all feelings like me? Like she should have been talking to me about some of this stuff. Y'all let me know. Should I be in my feelings? If I should be in my feelings, say yes. And if not, just say no. Either way, I'm still gonna love you. But I think I should be on my feelings. But Lashawn, go ahead and continue. I'm in my feelings though, but go on.
So that is the distinction in examples of non-probated and probated asset. So
Linda
for
said
most
she got me. that you
Okay,
got me,
Linda.
that you got me, that you
Oh,
got me.
okay. Okay,
She
Linda.
got you.
I didn't know what to call
She
it this
got you,
thing.
right. She said, love the somebody else says love the love, LOL. And then she
Yes.
said no. See, Miss Linda said no. I shouldn't be mad. It should be in my feelings. And then Tiffany said, LOL, too funny. Well, Tiffany, you didn't answer the question. Are you taking
Well,
her side? I'm just teasing. Go ahead.
who are the beneficiaries of all my stuff? So
Me and the
I
children. Me
got
and the
you. There
children.
you go. So
She got you.
I
She got
got
you,
you.
Linda. She
So
said
for
it's
multiple,
Nikki. Hey, Nikki.
hi Nikki. So for multiple wills, so people have wills that are twofold. They have a will that deals with their non-probated assets. Now that I have given y'all some examples, and probated assets, so
Got it.
real property, etc. So that is the trend that people are doing multiple wills.
Okay.
I don't know if I would necessarily recommend that. Just depends on your asset and your comfort level. And if you want to inventory out every piece of clothing or non-probated item that you have, you certainly can do your
But the
inventory
probate
list.
items are the most important, I would say.
But I think the probated items are the ones that you should concentrate on. So even though that is a trend, take it from the estate planning lawyer. That's not something you got to have.
Leave it. Take it or leave
Take
it.
it or
Okay.
leave it.
Number
Okay.
4.
Number 4 is various trust options.
Okay.
So a trust. We know that there are 2 types of trust, an irrevocable or revocable trust.
We don't know that, so slow down. Give it to us. Y'all in the chat. Go ahead and put this in. That you talking about. Y'all, we all know that it's 2 types. No, we don't. We are here to learn. Okay, y'all, scribes, get us caught up now. She said, all in my feelings, Dineen. Thank you, me too. Thank you, Tavara, my sister. Okay, listen. Okay, y'all put this in here. Okay.
Various trust options.
Okay, various trust options. Okay, good. Okay, go ahead.
The reason that you see various trust options, and if you hop over to my business page, you will learn what trusts are. But basically, there are 2 types of trusts, revocable and irrevocable. And what that means is that irrevocable means that there cannot be a removal of the item from the trust without permission. And revocable meaning that the trustee, who is someone that is appointed besides of the owner, to delegate things to come in and out of a trust. So there's 2 types of trust, but there are different types of trust setups that you can create for your family. So what we're seeing in the estate planning world, that there are various trust options like dynasty trust or skip generation trust. So what is happening, for example, our father leaves us something because we are his direct heirs, but he says, okay, but I have some other items that I want to leave my grandchildren. So we're seeing skip generational trust to continue it to extend our generational wealth. So this is why you're seeing these variety of trust options to give people more options if they have minor children, if they want to leave something to the next generation of their family that may or may not be alive yet. And they may pass away before that exists, but they want to have something set up for them. So it's just another financial tool for people to extend their wealth past 1 or 2 generations. So as I said, trusts are complicated because you have an owner who, I'll just use myself. If I created a trust, I am the owner of the trust, but then I have a trustee, which I can appoint you to be my trustee. And that person, and then I would have beneficiaries, and that would be my 2 nieces. So if I decide, okay, I'm going to put a piece of real estate in a trust, my trustee is the person who's going to manage that trust for me. And then my beneficiaries will be the ones that will inherit it at the time of my death. So if I tell you, okay, Dineen, I want to move this piece of property now out of trust and have it out and open that we can utilize it and deal with it today. You would, if it was an irrevocable trust, as the trustee, you would then have to notify my 2 nieces and say, okay, your Aunt Lashawn is now moving these items out of trust. And what is your thoughts on this? And do you give her permission to move them out? Wow. That's the difference. A revocable trust is I can call you and say, trustee, move the stuff out of the trust right now, and I will either dissolve the trust or put something else in for the benefit of my beneficiaries. Okay. So these trust options just creates another avenue to continue generational wealth. And so there are at least 9 of them right now, but for just purposes of just understanding, it's just another vehicle to extend your money or your wealth out to multiple generations.
Yeah. Miss Linda's like, yeah, trust are complicated. Yeah, you do need some assistance. Like, don't be trying.
Yes,
That's one of the documents. Don't try to do it by yourself. Don't,
that's correct.
the will, you can kind of give a stab at it if you want to, a little
That's
jab at the
it.
will. You can do
That's
that.
it.
But the trust, no sir, no ma'am, no sir, no
Correct.
ma'am. Don't do that by
Correct.
yourself because
Correct.
you gonna be done jack some stuff up. Now she done told you how she gonna put something in the trust and then she gotta go get permission to put some stuff to move some stuff out of trust that she put in the trust. I'm just saying I might not want to use that trust document. But okay,
So
last
you
thing,
have
last thing.
the last thing
Yep.
is cryptocurrency.
All right, let's talk about it.
So cryptocurrency, what we are seeing right now, and if you're watching the news, you know what is happening with cryptocurrency. It's currently losing its value. Cryptocurrency is a digital currency that you can use for investment purposes. So Bitcoins, all of the things. But what we are seeing in estate planning is people are leaving cryptocurrency to their families. Well, what you have to warn them about is the tax consequences of
Come on.
cryptocurrency. So, cryptocurrency is not considered a currency in estate planning, it is considered property. So, this is a probated item that will be geared towards a capital gains tax. So if you have cryptocurrency that still has value today, in 10 years from now, it still has value. It is now valued at multiple millions of dollars. You have to prepare your estate planning that whoever you're leaving that cryptocurrency to, whether that is your child, your spouse, etc., there is a capital gains tax that will have to be paid. So you
Yikes.
want to make sure that you have planned for that and plan for that financially for them. Because what you don't want is it did exceed $10 million or some astronomical amount, and you have this capital gains tax and they have to pay $100,000 or something that they don't have. Because remember, cryptocurrency is still liquidity. So it's not cash on hand. So you have to prepare for that
But
in
they could
regards to.
cash it out. Couldn't they cash it out though if it was transferred? I'm just trying to give people so they don't
Mm-hmm.
become afraid of getting it. Like get the money,
Right.
y'all. Right? Because you can
Yes.
actually cash it out and then use what you cashed out to pay the
Correct.
taxes. It's
So
just
it
like
is
you
just
do
like
with
a
any other
forward.
thing,
Right.
everything else. You cash it
Correct.
out. Don't go spending all the things when
Right.
you
But you
know
need
you're
to
gonna
prepare for
owe
taxes.
somebody some
Correct.
money. Okay, so
So
this was a
that's a
question from
short.
that's short because it's time to go to just about. So
Mm-hmm.
Tamu had asked the question: is it better to have a trust? And Tamu, are you asking in lieu of a will, like better to have a trust? Like help me just a little bit around that, like in comparison to what there. I mean, I don't know how to answer that question. I'm not sure if you
Right.
what you want to
So
do.
what I would say, Taboo, is this: is
She
that
said yes, and and in comparison to a will.
no, what you need to have the
No
base.
what? No what?
No, you should not get a trust over a will.
Okay.
What you need is a will, a power of attorney, and advance directive. Those are basically the basic
Hold
estate
on.
planning
Say it again.
documents.
Put it in the chat and y'all type it in the chat. Basic things to have.
Will, power of attorney, and advanced healthcare directive. Those are the things you want to
Say
have.
it again.
Wills,
I want to see it in the
a
chat. Come on,
will,
y'all. Say it again. Go ahead.
a
Keep going.
will,
Uh-huh.
a power of attorney,
Okay.
and an advanced directive.
Okay.
Trust, I would not do a trust unless you have a large amount of
Real
a
estate.
property, real estate, high end art, etc.
Thank you.
The
Thank you,
average
teacher.
person does not need a trust.
Okay.
It's nothing wrong with having a trust because the impetus for most people is to jump in and get a trust to put their house that they're living in a trust. The danger in that is that if you own a mortgage, you cannot usually put your house
All right.
in a
That's it.
trust.
That's it. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. No more. All right, y'all. So tell me that's enough because I'm overwhelmed and we already almost at time. And I got to drop this link so you guys can have an opportunity to register for the gift that she is giving away. Okay, so tell me, what is it that you will be doing for this community for the 12 days of Christmas?
Well, I will be giving away a free 1 hour consultation, which is valued at $150. You will get to ask all your estate planning questions and discuss what you think you need at that time, and you will get an assessment back. So I'm giving that to you for free.
So
All
assessment back, tell them what the assessment is
the
so y'all
assessment
can know that this is for real and a
So the
good thing.
assessment will tell you things that I would recommend that you get and things that you need at the time to help build a legacy for your family. So I would tell you if you need a will, a power of attorney, advance directive. We will discuss other financial things that you need to address, like life insurance, etc., and where we are with those things. And it kind of will give you a picture of how you need to proceed with your estate planning.
See, that'll be helpful. It gives you kind of like a checklist on how to start attacking these things that you need to have done and set up for yourself.
Correct.
So look, if they want to follow you on Facebook, is it Lashawn Mikell, right? Did I have
That
it
is
right
correct.
when I put it up
That is
there?
correct.
Do you need a dot or anything like that? Or y'all just go to the
No.
top, get Lashawn Mikell. That's what you want to do. That's where you want to go. She drops nuggets each and every week. She does a live on Monday, and all week long she's dropping tips around what it is that her topic of the week is and her topic of the month. So make sure you go ahead, get those nuggets. You could go back and binge out, but you can only binge out on her page. So go on her page, binge out. If you want to set up your own consultation, consultations are $150. There is a jot form on her page that you can fill out to set up that consultation. You don't have to live in the dark. You don't have to try to do it on your own. You don't have to do any of that. Like, she's there for it, for the help. But you need to go ahead and try to get your appointment set up before the end of the year.
That is
correct. I know some things that's happening in her life that y'all don't. So if you've been thinking about it, you might want to go ahead and do it. Like tonight. Tonight. You need to go ahead and do that tonight. So thank you so much, Lashawn, for the information.
Thank you.
Super
Thank
duper amazing. Just a quick list of the going trends. Just list them out. No detail. What are the top 5 trends in estate planning right now?
Digital notarization, digital assets, multiple wills, various trust options, and cryptocurrency.
All right, y'all. We love you. Have an amazing night.
Thank you
Join
all.
me tomorrow live at 5. I'm live at 5. It's Wednesday. I'm live at 5 tomorrow. And it'll be another day of Christmas. Let's see who we got tomorrow. I want to say it's Adrian, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. I think it's Adrian. I know that it's Adrian. It is Adrian Holloman tomorrow night. Now, Adrian normally talks about the way you think. Because I say that I am. Like, this is going to be the empowerment like session. Like, if by any chance you think your mindset is off and you don't have affirmations down and you don't speak love into your life and you don't really believe that you are capable of doing what it is that God said about you, you might want to be here tomorrow. That's all I'm saying. End of the discussion. Great. Make sure you hear tomorrow. Adrian Holloman will be here inside of the building. Always looking forward to serving you. I will see you guys on tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock for the 12 days of Christmas, 5 o'clock for Live at 5. Hey,